Sorry, I was just doing a little bit of reading before the show started. You know, it's interesting. I feel like in the last 5 to 10 years, the work of H.P. Lovecraft has really skyrocketed in influence and popularity. I mean, you always had your die-hard horror fans who knew about his writing, but I feel like even today, your average person knows who Cthulhu is, or has seen some sort of movie or TV show that's been influenced by his cosmic style of horror. There's even board games and video games that reference his work directly, but that wasn't always the case. And I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say a lot of people were probably introduced to Lovecraft thanks to one director.
Hey, neighbor. Sorry for interrupting. Just wanted to return your measuring cup here. Thanks again for letting me borrow that cup of sugar.
No problem.
Yeah, me and the missus, we're just having a little get-together, you know. Had to bake a cake, and it's completely out of sugar. But everybody likes cake, so...
Well, I mean, not everybody. I've met people who...
Of course they do. Everybody likes cake. Hey, is that a new cactus I see?
Oh, yeah. I bought this the other day. I thought it might liven the room up a little bit.
Would you mind if I borrow that?
The cactus?
Yeah. See, like I said, the missus and I were having a little get-together, and that cactus would make the perfect centerpiece.
I mean, couldn't you just go buy one?
No time. Like I said, we're having our gathering real soon, so do you mind if I borrow your cactus?
I guess that's okay.
Great. I'll bring it right back when we're done.
Okay.
Great.
Anything else I can do for you?
Nope. I'm just gonna go now. Thanks again, neighbor.
Sorry. That was my new neighbor. He moved in next door, I guess. Wait. How'd he get in my house? Oh, I've really got to check that lock. What was I saying? Right. I think it's fair to say that most horror fans were introduced to the work of Lovecraft through one director, Stuart Gordon. Sadly, he passed away this last March, so to celebrate his work and his life, we're going to be watching his very first film and the franchise that it spawned. That's right, we're going to be talking about Re-Animator. The rest of this month is going to be Re-Animator week. See what I did there? It's a play on words. Anyway, I'm Ryan Reed, and this is Fright Films. Re-Animator is a 1985 film directed by Stuart Gordon. It's a loose adaptation of the short stories Herbert West Re-Animator, written by H.P. Lovecraft. Originally produced as bite-sized pieces with cliffhanger endings to be reprinted in a magazine, the short stories have since been collected and reprinted in most Lovecraft anthologies. And because of the pulpy nature of the stories, Lovecraft always thought they were his worst work, but they've since gained an incredible popularity, probably partly due to the influence of the films we're discussing. But to get to that film, we've got to start with Stuart Gordon. See, Gordon grew up in Chicago and eventually founded the Organic Theater there with his wife and money that they had saved up from their wedding. He was the artistic director for 15 years before eventually deciding he wanted to give filmmaking a try. A friend of his recommended that a horror movie would be a great place to start because it would be easy to get financial backing, and then he pointed Gordon in the direction of the work of H.P. Lovecraft. Being a fan of classic gothic horror, Gordon was drawn to the story Herbert West Re-Animator, and even originally pitched it to PBS as a serialized TV show. Of course, because of the graphic nature of the story, PBS turned him down. Around this time, Gordon was introduced to Brian Usna, who was a producer trying to get into the film world as well. Along with their writer, Dennis Powley, who replaced writer William Norris, the three of them crafted a more modern take on the Re-Animator tale with a feature film in mind. Originally, Stuart Gordon wanted to make the film at the Organic Theater, but the board of the theater at the time wouldn't allow him to do that. They felt like he should be making an art film instead of a horror movie. So Gordon took a leave of absence and headed off to Hollywood to get everything set up. And it was there that he found his cast, including Bruce Abbott as Dan, Barbara Crampton as Meg, and of course, Jeffrey Combs as Herbert West. Stuart Gordon, also coming from the theater world, took a week before the movie even started production to rehearse the entire script with the actors, allowing them prep time before they jumped into the madness of the world of Re-Animator. If you're not familiar with the film, the plot is actually pretty simple. It revolves around a medical student named Dan Kane who gets wrapped up in the twisted world of another medical student named Herbert West, who has discovered the cure for death via a reanimation serum. It's during this time that Dan has to balance this insane discovery with his relationship with his fiancée Meg, who also happens to be the dean's daughter, the outwardly stern and inwardly malicious Dr. Hill, played by David Gale, as well as a crazy cacophony of reanimated corpses and body parts, and then the plot only spirals into more madness from there. The opening scene, which was actually a reshoot after the film had wrapped, tells us exactly what the tone of the movie is going to be. It's insane, it's over the top, it's gory, it's fast-paced, and it's hilarious. In fact, Re-Animator is one of the best films to balance both horror and comedy, and it does so with a frenetic energy. We're then plunged into a colorful title sequence with accompanying theme music by Richard Band. And the music has this element of whimsy mixed with this driving intensity of a Bernard Herrmann score. And in fact, Band got into a little bit of hot water because people thought he was ripping off the Psycho theme, when it was really just meant as an homage to Herrmann's style, which is how it feels. It doesn't feel like plagiarism, but somebody who has a great affection for Bernard Herrmann mixing it in with his own personal style. And speaking of style, Re-Animator oozes it out of every single frame, from the special effects by a large group of people, including Everett Burl and John Carl Buechler, to the cinematography by Mac Ahlberg, to the performances of the entire cast. Everybody knows that this film needs to be larger than life, and they succeed. The cast in particular walks this beautiful line between going big, but never too big. And you know what? I've seen some people criticize the acting in this film, and I completely disagree. I think Bruce Abbott and Barbara Crampton give amazing, fantastic performances that turn what could be basic, bland, boring main character archetypes into well-rounded, likable people. Because of them, we get some really human moments amidst all of the chaos caused by the new person in the picture, Herbert West. You know, speaking of new person, I'm really wondering what my neighbor wanted with the cactus. Anyway, I think it goes without saying that Jeffrey Combs is amazing as Herbert West. I mean, other people have tried to adapt Lovecraft's story, but no one will ever compare to Combs' version of this character. He's rude, he's arrogant, and he's probably a bit of a sociopath leaning into psychopath. But you can't help but like the guy. I mean, even when he's doing insane things, he's got this logic that makes this weird kind of sense. He's pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable by science, but he's doing so to progress the field, much like Dr. Frankenstein. And I could go on and on and on about how fantastic Re-Animator is. The gore effects are stupendous, ranging from eyeballs exploding to intestines strangling people. The humor is dark and zany. The entire film is macabre filmmaking at its best. It's this perfect blend of sleazy and cheesy, and I mean that as a compliment. See, there are things in the movie that some people may find extreme or too much, but that just comes with the territory of the type of film that they were making. Re-Animator may not be everyone's cup of tea, but is definitely a horror classic that is here to stay, as we'll see in the upcoming episodes. As for Stuart Gordon, because of the success of this movie, he was able to continue his career as a director, adapting even some more of Lovecraft's work to the screen, with movies like From Beyond and Castle Freak and Dagon. It's good to know that his legacy will continue to live on in his films, and his films will continue to be reanimated for generations of horror fans to come.
Hey, neighbor. Just wanted to return your cactus.
Oh, so you're done with your party?
What party? Anyway, here you go.
Oh, thanks. I was wondering what you... Oh, God. What did you do?
Oh, that? Nothing. I just gave him life.
But it's a plant. It's already alive.
Not like this. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
I'm gonna call you Frank. Frank the Cactus. I'm Ryan Reed. Go watch a movie.